Hello, welcome to the Unit 9% Study Guide. A couple of things to note on this one. Math 6 and Math 6 Plus had slightly different questions on a couple of problems. So Math 6 Plus, just do the best you can to follow along. They'll be different than on your paper. Just follow the question, the actual content, and the percent change and percent error problems will be on the last section of the video. When we get to that section, Math 6, don't worry about it. So for number one, I'm not going to go over the problems because these are just copy and pasted from the flashcards that I made. So you can just check here are the questions, and here are all the answers. You are responsible for knowing all of this information. All right, for number two, the real life outside of school, where would a person encounter the following situations? Be specific. For example, in the store is not acceptable. So what I'm expecting you to find for tip is you could say something to the effect of, you're paying someone for a service that they do for you, like at a restaurant, or like the pizza guy brings you pizza, you could tip him there. Tax, that would be if you're at the grocery store and you buy your groceries and then you have to pay a sales tax on those. A gas tax will be used. You could also say a tax when you buy tickets. Basically anything you purchase from a business would have a tax on it. North Carolina just started paying tax on Amazon, most like this year or last year, so that's something new. Discount could be a coupon. It's something that you can go to the store and they could have a discount that would entice you to come in. That could be like a 20% discount off of your total bill, so that would be the discount. Commission is where a salesperson earns extra money for selling you something. You as the buyer typically won't see that represented in the price. It'll be hidden underneath, but it's going to be there if they're a salesperson. Markup is where you're a salesperson, a company, and you have maybe a limited amount of supplies. You can mark up the price on those so that people, so you make more money on it as a business. Markdown, again, you're a business and you're wanting to get rid of the inventory so you can lower the price and make people want to buy it more if you lower the price. All right, number three, getting into actually solving. This is a review for order of operations. We're going to start with our exponent here, 5 times 5, which will be 25. And then go ahead and write down the rest of the problem. And then from here, we have 28 total divided by 4, and that's going to be 7 as your final answer. Over here, to find from fraction to decimal, we do 3 divided by 7. And that's going to be something like this, but it's going to be a lot longer. To go from a decimal to a percent, we move our decimal 2 places to the right. And to go from percent to decimal, we move 2 places to the left. Which is going to be 9 ten-thousandths. And to finish off over here, 9 ten-thousandths. This is going to be 9 hundredths. And this would be 2 places to the right, would be 9%. Number 5, at the water park, 45% of tickets sold were child tickets. How many tickets were sold that were children tickets? So this is where you're going to have your 45% over 100. And the total number of tickets was 60, so the total goes on the bottom. And we're looking for X. So once we cross multiply, we get 2,700 over 100 X. And so then X is going to equal 27. So our real life answer would be 27 child tickets sold. And I'm just going to write this here so I don't forget. All right. Number 6, the students in Brenna's grade voted to select a guest speaker. And again, this is one of the questions for Math 6 Plus, but it's number 6 on the other page, or it's somebody's. I'm not sure. I'm tired. To select a guest speaker, 23 students voted for a famous athlete. If there are 92 students in Brenna's grade, what percent of the students voted for the athlete? So this is going to be set up as we don't know the percentage. So that's going to be X over 23, because that's the students that voted for the famous athlete. And then there's 92 total students in the grade level. So the 92 goes on the bottom. That's the total. And this is the part. And again, we cross multiply and we get 92X over 2300. And then X equals 25. So it'll be 25% of the students voted for the athlete. All right, the next one, a salesperson. As a salesperson, Brody earns a commission salary, a base salary of $80 per week, plus a commission of 20% of the sales. If he had $80 in sales last week, what was his total pay? All right, so this one's going to be 20% of his sales over 100, and the sales were 80, so we don't know the part of the sales. So we're going to cross multiply. And then X is going to equal 16. Well, this is 20%. This is the commission. So we have to add this on top of his base salary. So this is going to be the $80 in salary plus the $16 commission to be a total of $96 total. All right. Number 8, Mel's Cafe or May's Cafe has regular coffee and decaffeinated coffee. This morning the cafe served 60 coffees in all, 90% of which were regular. So 90%, so 90 goes over 100. And the total coffees goes on the bottom. And we don't know the part that were regular coffees. So we're going to cross multiply. And X is going to be 54. So that'd be 54 regular coffees served. Number 9, Larry ate breakfast at the restaurant. The bill came to $67. If he left a 20% tip, what's the total cost? So the 20% goes over 100. The total bill is 67. We don't know the part of the bill. The 20% we're going to add on top of it. So we're going to cross multiply. And that's going to be 1340. And X is going to equal $13.40. So it's going to be 67, which is the price, the original bill, plus $13.40 for the tip. And that's going to be $80.40. All right, at Sasha's hats, 40% of the 35 hats are baseball caps. So again, 40% goes on top. We know that there's 35 total hats. We don't know the part. We don't know how many are baseball. So again, we cross multiply. And we get, let's see here. I'll use my calculator. So that's going to be 1400. So X is going to equal 14. So it'll be 14 baseball hats. All right, number 12, and again, this I think because I double wrote one of your problems. Number 12. A store originally purchased a table at a cost of $80 and marked it up 105%. So marked it up, so it cost 80 for the store, but they raised it 105%. So 105 is the percent. You can have over 100, by the way. So the total cost was 80. We want to find out what 105% is. So we cross multiply, and that's going to be 8,400 equaling 100x, and then x will equal 84. Well, this is the markup, okay? So this means it has to be added to the cost that they were going to do. So now it's going to be plus 80. So it's going to be 164. Well, we're still not done because now they're going to discount the table 25%. So I'm going to run over here because I'm running out of space. So now we're looking at 25 over 100. And now the total cost is 164. We want to find out what the discount is. So this is going to be 4,100 over 100x equals 100x, and then x is going to be equal to 41, and this has to be taken away from this because this is the discount. So now it's going to be 164 minus 41. So the table, after everything's said and done, the table is going to cost $123. Ran out of room. Okay, back to the paper. Next one, Joe runs 10 kilometers per day. How many miles is that? So again, when we're doing the cross system problems, you're going to be given the conversion rate. So 1 mile is equal to 1.6 kilometers. People have been asking me what the abbreviation for mile is. There really isn't one. It's only 4 letters, so you might as well just go ahead and write it. So 10 kilometers, which is a very popular race, by the way, a 10K race. So we cross multiply, and we get, and x is going to be equal to 6.25. And make sure you label it 6.25 miles. Sorry about that. Alright, Jill's pencil has a mass of, let me undo that because I can't read my rating now. There we go. Jill's pencil has a mass of 15 ounces, which is insane. That's way too heavy. I made up the problem. It was a very bad problem. But anyway, the pencil, maybe it's a giant pencil, is 15 ounces. How many grams is that? So we know that 1 gram is equal to 0.04 ounces, and the pencil is already 15 ounces. So when we cross multiply, x is going to be equal, let's see here, to 375 grams. And again, not realistic. Sorry about that. Moving on. My soda is 2.5 quarts. How many ounces is that? Well, this is a multi-step problem as well because we don't know how many ounces are in quarts, but we do know that 2.5, so we know we need to figure out 2.5 quarts and how many ounces that is. But what we know that 1 cup is equal to 8 ounces, okay? And we also know that 1 quart has 4 cups. So let's go with that one. 1 cup is equal to, 4 cups is equal to 1 quart. Okay, and we've got 2.5 quarts. So we don't know how many cups that is. So we can cross multiply and we will get x equaling 10 cups. So we know that 2.5 is 10 cups. Okay, so that information we just found out from over here. So now we could take this information and plug it in over here, because I know that 1 cup is 8 ounces, and I know that 1 cup, if I could transfer from 1 to 10, I can do this 1 times 10 as well, and that's going to be 80 ounces just by multiplying straight across. So 80 ounces will be your final answer. Number 16, my dog weighs 560 ounces. How many pounds is that? Well, you have to know how many ounces are in a pound. There are, for 1 pound, that's not the abbreviation, 1 pound is lb. So 1 pound is 16 ounces, whereas liquids is 8 ounces, but this is solid, so 1 pound is 16 ounces, and 560 ounces will go on the bottom. And I don't know this one, so we're going to cross multiply. And then that's going to be 35 pounds. So the dog is 35 pounds. Alright, next one. So now we're getting into the Math 6 Plus problem. So if you are Math 6, you are done with the video unless you want to learn some more. Otherwise, Math 6 Plus, let's take care of these 4 problems and then we'll be done. So Sydney is a professional golfer and has an average score last season of 80 points. This season her average score has been 92 points. What is the percent increase in her average score? So we don't know the percent, but we know it's over 100. And from last season to this season there's been a 12-point change. So 12 is going to be on the top and our original value is going to be on the bottom. So then again, that's the formula was change over the original. So then we just cross multiply like we've been doing, and x ends up being, let's see here, x ends up being 15% increase in score. Okay, number 10. At the baseball game, the owner estimated there were 11,000 people. When she counted the tickets, she found out there were 12,543 people. What was her percent error? So we're going to do our percent over 100 because we don't know the percent. We're going to put our actual number on the bottom. So there were actually 12,543. And then the difference, the difference that she messed up on is going to be, let's see here, 1543, and when we cross multiply, x is going to be 12.3% in error. So that will be in the counting. Alright, next one, number 12. Julie receives a weekly allowance for completing all of her chores. During elementary school, her allowance was $18. These days, she receives $27. What is her percent of increase in Julie's weekly allowance? So we don't know the percent. We know it's over 100. And we put the change on top. So the percent, so the difference between $27 and $18 is $9. And her original value was $18. So we cross multiply and we find out that it is a 50% increase in allowance. And number 16, Jill predicted that her test tube was 0.56 milliliters of acid. She measured it carefully and realized that there was a 0.59 milliliters of acid inside. What was her percent error? So again, we don't know the percentage. If we did know, we put that there, and we'd put the x where we didn't know. So the percent error we don't know is there. We know that the difference in the two was 3/100ths, and then the actual value was 0.59. cross multiply. X is going to be equal to 5.08%, which is a pretty big deal. We want to be closer to 0 as possible, especially when dealing with acids. So, okay. So that's the test corrections, or not test corrections, study guide corrections. So if you have any other questions, you can see me during homeroom or focus time.